Hello and welcome to the Gary Dunn Show. I'm Gary Smith, and on today's show we are going to talk with Coach Dunn about this past weekend's homecoming action against Seton Hill. We'll break down all of the action in the PSAC, both East and West, look at some standings, and then break down this upcoming week's opponent, the Slippery Rock. But first, Coach, you may not even know this because I know you're not one to look at stats, but congratulations. You're now tied for second place all-time Falcon coaching list with Ted Nemeth and Jeff Petrucci with 54 wins. So congratulations.
Did not know that. Thank you. Pretty neat that I guess me and Coach Petrucci are tied. He was my college coach that recruited me. I've got great respect for Coach Petrucci and still talk to him. So pretty neat. I might have to give him a call today.
Yeah, I got the note first thing this morning. Our SID, Matt Kiefer, texted me and goes, I looked at the clock. I'm like, well, it's either a note for the show or the school's burning down. So, luckily we're here. There's no fire. There's no anything. But congratulations. That's a great accomplishment because 54 wins is 54 wins.
Yeah, we'll take every one of them. Now, great kids, great players, great coaches, and we've had some success. So we got to continue it, I don't know. I'm not much into stats and things like that, but appreciate you bringing it up.
Well, the first stat and the most recent win was this past weekend against Seton Hill on homecoming, and our luck ran out in terms of weather. About 25 minutes before the game started, a deluge came down on Adamson Stadium, and it was one of the weirdest things I've ever seen because I was kind of looking into the parking lot for the tailgaters, and they were starting to come in, and then I guess the way the rain came in, it hit the field first, then the tailgate, because I heard the players cheer, and then I saw just a wave of people go the other direction. And then I looked outside, and it was hard to see even the field. So what was that like pregame?
It was interesting. It's funny you brought up Coach Petrucci. When I played here, we always said that he had a weather machine because we would be down on campus and it would be pouring, raining. We'd be like, all right, pretty good chance we're going to have to practice in the gym, or they might give us the day off today. We'd get up to the top of the hill. No rain at all. We're like, so I said to Chief Hartley, who was at the game Saturday, I said, you got to show me where Coach Petrucci used to keep that weather machine. We're going to have to adjust it for today. But yeah, that was something. And I think, it's almost like when you're back as a kid playing. I think our guys enjoyed the rain a little bit. I think both teams, were ruckus in pregame. But, at the end of the day, when it's time to kick off, I had prepared our team for that. I had talked to our team about, I don't care if it's raining. We had kind of expected some weather delays. They were calling for some thunderstorm and some lightning. And so I kind of prepared the team, hey, don't be surprised if we got to go into the locker room and sit out a lightning delay. And I said, great thing is, you were at Mercyhurst a couple years ago when they didn't have lights and we had to finish Sunday morning. I said, the great thing is we have lights, guys. We'll be here till midnight if we need to. But this game, we're going to play this game. We're going to get it in. It wasn't the best weather. But, to walk away there with a W, we'll take it in any weather.
Well, the weather didn't affect the first, 3 plays at all for your team. I think it was 14-0, 13-0, 52 seconds of the game. First play of the game, you guys win the toss, take the kick, which is a little unusual. As soon as we saw you won the kick, I was getting the graphics ready for defense, and then I hear we're accepting the kick, and had to reset everything. But then first play of the game, we
had decided that, okay, if it's not raining hard at kickoff, we're going to take. If we win the toss, we're going to take the ball and try and get a possession where it's not raining. That's the reason that we did it. Coach Salisbury had dialed up a play. Our kids knew what our opening play, assuming we get decent field position, was going to be all week. We had worked that all week. I tell you, Coach Salisbury and Davis and our receivers have really worked on that. That was something going into this year, running post routes that we weren't very good at for the last couple of years. Now we've hit some big ones, but that was all based on whether it was pouring down at game time or not. And when the weather was nice, I said, let's go ahead and take the ball and try and get a possession, where it's not pouring down rain, and the guys executed the play perfectly.
Yeah, that might have been honestly the best weather of the afternoon because shortly after that, towards the end of the first quarter, it started coming back in again. But just beautiful post route to the end zone. You're up 7-0, commercial break kickoff, and then your defense, which has been on just a tear with takeaways lately, one of 2 pick sixes.
Yeah, obviously, anytime the defense can score 14 points, you're going to tend to have success. They are doing a really good job, and it's early in the year we weren't, and we really preached it. We worked it. Our kids are committed to it. But I think we got 4 turnovers, 4, at least 4, right? Because Charney had 3 interceptions. Dom had to pick 6, as well as Charney having a pick 6. So, they're doing a really good job. And what I'm more proud of or happy about is they're doing their job. They're not looking to make big splash plays. They're doing their job. We tell our guys, if you do the right thing, turnovers are going to find you. If you're in the right position, doing the right thing, the ball's going to find you. And, obviously that happened Saturday for our defense. So great start. Anytime you can get up 14-0 after a couple plays, and that's kind of the start we needed with the weather. And Seton Hill runs, we talked about it last week, a different defense than anybody else in the country. That's kind of the start we needed.
It was definitely an amazing start. And then, up 2 scores right there, then very quickly get up to third score. Rain starts coming in. What's the mindset on the sideline? You're off to a good start. The weather could be a factor. You never know what's going to happen, especially, couple crazy D1 games over the past couple of days. What's your message to the team just to try and stay on task and not look ahead?
Really, we had talked about it all week. We had saw the weather and having great ball security, taking care of the football, really focusing on – it's hard to catch a wet football. Really focus – we talk about focusing on the X of the football and secure it. 2 hands in the crowd, great ball security. The problem with that is Seton Hill does a great job of stopping the run. I mean, they are not going to let you run the football consistently. Now, we popped some runs on them. Obviously, we lost some yardage and some sacks, but that's the nature of their defense. They are going to play a defense that's super aggressive. So you're able to get big plays on them, but you're not going to consistently run the ball. And we thought we could get big plays on them, and we did. Amari Hopkins had a big day. We got him caught up, matched up on some inside fade stuff. I think he had 3 touchdowns. Eric Willis had the big 75-yarder. So they're going to, if you can protect their blitzes, they're going to give up big plays. And we were able to do that. I thought Davis Black played probably his best game. He put the ball, even in that weather, on the money for the post route and a couple of Amari's touchdowns. So, just staying on task offensively, and then defensively, just it's all about running the football and tackling. And I think our tackling has got better every week.
Well, on the offensive side of the ball, none of that happens. Seems like we talk about it every week about the offensive line, keeping Davis clean to get those deep routes, setting up the offensive or the rushing for the offense just to keep the chains moving. But I thought offensive lines particularly, but both lines, we'll talk about the defensive line in a second, but offensive line, once again,
it did
pretty
nice
clean
job
game.
Because Seton Hill, like I keep saying, they're just different. And they bring some blitzes and they run some stunts where they're going to pick and they're going to hold and they're going to do some different things that nobody else does. So I was really happy about our practice week. It wasn't an easy week of practice, but getting our scout teams to perform that defense and seeing the looks that we're going to get. Tuesday was a little messy. Wednesday was a little messy. We started picking it up by Thursday. I thought Friday was really good. I thought Davis did a really good job with his protection checks and putting us in the right situation. Now, they had a couple sacks, but they do that to everybody. So that was good. So the O-line really, it was a big week for those guys. A big assignment week and being able to hear the protection checks. The problem was we didn't get a couple of our checks. We didn't communicate them well enough. So we're going to talk about that today. They kept saying, well, we can't hear Davis. I said, guys, it's not that loud. We had a decent crowd for the weather, but we got to do a little better job with our communication.
Well, before we switch over to the defensive side of the ball, we'll take a look at some offensive numbers. You mentioned Davis Black. Very efficient game, 14 of 23, 300 yards on the nose, 4 touchdowns. That's just great percentage in that weather because not only it was raining, there was some wind on there. And I know he has a strong arm and everything, but it takes strong arm, good play calling and everything to have that kind of efficiency. So congratulations to the offense. He also spread the ball around a lot. Said Amari Hopkins, 5 receptions, 132 in the air, 3 touchdowns. Eric Willis, 4 receptions, 129 of that long touchdown to start the game. And in the air, 313 yards because Alex Arledge got a couple plays in the second half.
Sure.
Backup quarterback to his 13 yards. And then, like I said, running game, tough sledding all day, moved the chains, tough yards, but definitely offense was powered by the passing attack. And just you'll see in the highlights in a few minutes that it was fun to watch.
Yeah, that's how you got to play Seton Hill. I think we could have ran the ball better, and we're going to talk about some things that we thought we left out there. But if they're going to play that style of defense, then they almost say, listen, you're going to have to throw the ball vertically to beat us, and our pressure is going to get there before you get it off. And we were able to pick up the pressure and hit some big plays, and that's how you got to play against those guys.
One on the other side of the ball, we alluded to a little bit, 2 pick sixes in the game, 4 interceptions overall. The front 7 once again in the backfield. Seton Hill ran, I think, 2 or 3 quarterbacks through the game. They were running for their life the entire game. But if you look down on this, tackle for loss, I know that's something everyone always looks at. 9 tackles, 43 yards lost, and then 6 of those were sacks for 33 yards. And then
4 picks, 2 of which went back for touchdowns.
Yeah, I thought our defense played exceptionally well. I thought Abe Sinago was great in pass rush. They were trying to double him, and he was still getting pressure. We have a young kid, Cedric Vessa, that I thought played probably his best call. He's a freshman, played his best game in our Rover package. You know, we have a lot of freshmen playing on defense right now. Cedric Vessa is playing meaningful snaps as a true freshman. Khalil Taylor made some great open field tackles and some big hits today, or big hits on Saturday. So we got some young guys playing, but I thought our front did really well. And then Keith Charney, I mean, you're talking about 3 interceptions in one game is and 1 for a touchdown. I think he almost has to be Defensive Player of the Week in the conference this week, I would think.
Yeah, Keith Charney, 3 interceptions, 2 went for touchdowns. First time for California since 2005. A player had 3 picks in a game. That was Jared Dunn against Clarion in 2005. In addition, it's not like he was just out there playing Rover. He had 6 tackles as well. So, I mean, filling in up front and back. And like I said, that was a very active defense.
And I think he'll be the first one to tell you the pressure caused a lot of that. You know, Seton Hill played a couple quarterbacks, and our pass rush was getting home. So now kids trying to throw it a little bit quicker, you know, not sure, not as confident. So I think the rush dictated a lot of that. But him and Dom getting those picks were huge for us.
And Dominic Solomon, a 53-yard interception return a week
Bad
after.
Ball security. I was screaming at Dom as he was running on the field. Me and Dom are going to have a nice talk today. We're going to do some ball security drills with our defense today to make sure that we get that corrected.
But he also had 4 tackles, especially after coming off of a monster game against IUP. So overall, just a great effort by you and your squad. And enough talking about it, Coach. Let's show the people what, if they couldn't be in the rain, if they didn't have their umbrellas up, what they missed on this past homecoming against Seton Hill. You're watching the Gary Dunn Show right here on CUTV Sports 1.
Deep pass down the field right away. This looks like it is going 10-5, and that is a one-play touchdown from your California Vulcans. Drop back pass down the middle, intercepted by California, taking it down the close sideline. Looking for some blockers, getting some help, and he takes it in for a pick 6. Drop back pass for Black. Black down the sideline. Once again, that is a touchdown. Another passing touchdown. Drop back pass for Seton Hill. Pressure coming from his backside. Rolling out, throwing the ball away. Interception by California as he takes it up the sideline looking for some blocks. He looks like he's going all the way, picking up some more blocks. All the way down. That looks like that is a touchdown, California. Drop back pass. And that is intercepted by California.
Keith Charney with his second one.
Drop back pass going deep down the middle, and that is going in for a California touchdown. That is Amari Hopkins. 4-man rush. Incomplete. That's an interception by California. And he's going slot fade for a touchdown. I believe that is Amari Hopkins with his 3rd touchdown of the game.
A new season of Vulcan football is set to begin September 9th versus Kutztown, September 16th versus Shepherd, September 23rd at Edinburgh, September 30 versus Clarion, October 7th at IUP, homecoming October 14th versus Seton Hill, October 21st at Slippery Rock, October 28th versus Mercyhurst, November 4th at Gannon, November 11th at East Stroudsburg. All games available on CUTV Sports 1 and the PSAC Digital Network.
Vulcan Volleyball is back, and you can have the best seat in the house. The Convocation Center will be rocking with 11 home games featuring some of the best teams in the region and the PSAC. All home games will be streamed live on CUTV Sports 1 and the PSAC Digital Network. Follow Cal Vulcans on all social media platforms for up-to-date schedules and information. Vulcan Volleyball and you, a winning combination.
Suffering from World Cup withdrawal? Well, Vulcan men's and women's soccer has you covered. Come up and watch the region's best soccer teams do battle in a combined 18 home games at the beautiful Phillipsburg Soccer Complex. In addition, 3 men's and 3 women's home games will be featured live on CUTV Sports 1 and the PSAC Digital Network. Follow Cal Vulcans for up-to-date information on all things Vulcan soccer. Are you a Penn West California student looking to get involved in media? You have 2 great choices, and for both, all majors are welcome. CUTV is the home for Vulcan sports. Be a part of 80-plus live games both home and on the road. We're looking for announcers, camera operators, graphic operators, and much more. There are also opportunities to develop your own shows. Go to our YouTube page, CUTV Sports 1, and see all of the content. WCAL Radio gives you the opportunity to play your music and develop your own show. Be heard locally over the air in a 40-mile radius and worldwide online. That's 91.9 FM, Power 92. SAI Media of CUTV and WCAL. Get out, join up, be seen, and be heard.
First and goal sitting at the Vulcan 5. A lot of air on this one towards the near side, but able to cut back in, and a touchdown for the Rock. Hold is down, here's the kick. And that one is good. So the Vulcans chipping away here early at this one, 7-3. Pre-snap motion here, breaking from the far side. Grover letting this one fly, has the one-on-one matchup, turnaround catch, he's got it, he might be all the way off to the races here. Look at him fly, 20, 15, 10, 5. And the Rocker on the board, Kyle Sheets. Right down the middle of the field, and that was wide open there. No one's going to catch up to that. Touchdown for the Rock on the first play. Handoff, Williams. Williams tumbles through into the end zone. Touchdown, Vulcans. 4 wide for him, standing in across the middle. Bouncer having a chance to get that one, and they'll bring down the interception. So another first and 10 for the Rock as Grover leans into this one all across the middle of the field, and there's no one going to catch up to this one. Touchdown again for the Rock. On the roll, Mitchell looking for it, turning up. Touchdown Vulcans, Jaquay Jackson able to pull that one in. 4 wide set for Mitchell, looking on the outside, might have a chance at this one, bobbled the whole way, and they're signaling for a touchdown.
Jaquay Jackson.
2-touchdown day for him.
And welcome back to the Gary Dunn Show. I'm Gary Smith along with Coach Dunn. We just saw highlights from the Seton Hill game this past week and then highlights from this upcoming week's opponent from last year, the Slippery Rock Rock. And before we dive into everything happening this week in the PSAC, let's put a bow on the October 14th slate of games in the PSAC. We talked obviously about California beating Seton Hill 41-14. Other scores in the West, Mercyhurst going to Clarion, winning by 1, 36-35. Slippery Rock going to Gannon. It was back and forth in the first half, and then Slippery Rock pulls away in the second half, 49-24. And then Edinburgh goes to IEP, and Edinburgh was ahead at halftime or close to, I think they were leading at halftime if I remember reading the stats. Yes. Yep. And IEP comes back and wins 20-10. Over in the PSAC East, the East Stroudsburg Warriors go to Westchester and win 28-14. Shippensburg and Kutztown have a slugfest in the rain. Total was 9-6. That game went to overtime. And then Lock Haven, Bloomsburg 21-13. And then the final game in the PSAC East was Shepherd 33, Millersville 17. And quickly, we'll take a look at the standings in the East and the West. In the West, Cal, Slippery Rock, and we're talking about that here in the next few seconds. Both 4-0 in conference, and Gannon is 3-1 right there with a few weeks left to go. And then over in the PSAC East, Kutztown 4-0, and then East Stroudsburg and Shepherd 3-1. So, Coach, it's getting to crunch time, and as always seems as we get to the calendar, third week of October, every game is even more magnified, and big game this week against opponent Slippery Rock.
the last couple of years have been very dynamic, and I know you've been watching film probably before
I tell you,
the
it's,
last people left for homecoming this week.
I wish I didn't have to watch it, but no, they're an extremely talented football team. I think they're averaging close to 45, 46 points a game, doing it with balance. They can run it, they can throw it. They have one of the premier receivers in the league that's been there, I think, for 10 years. I think maybe he's working on his doctorate degree. I'm not sure how he still has eligibility left. It seems like he's been there forever. That's a big vertical threat, does a great job of body control and leaning on guys and catching go balls. And then they run the ball. They are as good as an offense as we've seen all year long. They're putting up video game numbers and 45 points, 46 points a game. It's going to be a tough test. And you go over to defense, they're a base 4 down, man coverage, bring pressure at times, feel like they can get pressure with their front 4, will bring some token pressure. But just their team speed jumps off at you. Like defensively, even their D tackles can run. They fly around. They play with great effort. It's going to be a tough task on the road, but I like our guys, and I tell our guys every week when you win another game, it puts you in position for the next one to be bigger. This one happens to be big because it's the next game, so we've got to. All starts with our preparation. All starts with our practice. We've got meetings today at 2 o'clock, and then we're going to practice at 5:15, and we got to start to have a great week of preparation. I know my coaches will have a great game plan ready to go, and we got to go up there and execute it. Super talented team, but we got to go play.
And going back to their offense for a minute, historically, last couple of years, I haven't seen a lot of film on them yet this year, but it seems like they always have 5 or 6 different weapons and 5 or 6 different fast weapons.
Yeah, absolutely. They're great, like I said earlier, great team speed. It starts with their running game. They got 2 good running backs that can go the distance anytime that they want. It's kind of interesting to watch them. They're good at everything. They're a good screen team. They run the ball effectively. They throw the ball effectively. They have different weapons, and we kind of mirror them offensively a little bit. We feel like we've got weapons, and we feel like we can run the ball. So very similar as far as scheme and style. They're probably a little more spread than we are, but they're going to try and get you in one-on-one matchups, and then they're going to throw the ball vertical, and they're going to try and get you with their team speed. So for us, it remains the same. It's about tackling and running to the football. We've got to run to the football, play with great effort, and we got to tackle once we get there.
And on the defensive side, you said aggressive defense, but what has anybody on film been able to put a little bit of a chink in the armor?
Yeah, I think they're giving up about 180 yards rushing a game, which is kind of, I got to look more into the stats. It's kind of surprising because they have so many big leads, and teams usually aren't going to run the ball when they're behind. So, I think the run defense isn't maybe what it always is at Slippery Rock, but they're really good on the back end. They're going to play man coverage. They're going to walk up and press you. Very similar to Seton Hill. We're going to have to beat man coverage to have success. And to be honest, we haven't had that. We haven't done it the last couple times we've played them. So it's got to be about our preparation, and then when you have an opportunity to make a play, you got to make it.
And on the third phase of the team, the special teams, a few weeks ago you talked about cleaning some things up. Against IUP, a block kick. Against Seton Hill, an early block kick that really, Seton Hill, that was their first drive. They were maybe trying to make some inroads, block kick, and then I think you guys go score and kind of put the stamp on that game. But 2 block kicks in a row, and then how is
we're making progress in special teams, but I will tell you that I talked to Coach Craig, our special teams coordinator, who is a worker. He's the first one in the office and the last one to leave every day, and he has special teams dialed up. We're 1 or 2 plays away from a game from being really good on special teams, and I'll give you an example. We roughed the punter on Saturday that led to a touchdown drive for them. It would have been 4th and 12, and we roughed the punter. Now, we just got to understand situational football. I thought we covered kickoffs better this week, but there's always just that 1 or 2 special teams play that kind of scratch your head and say, man, if it wasn't for that play, we would have played really well special teams. So that's what we're going to talk to our guys about today at 2 o'clock. But they're solid in the kick game. They've got weapons as returners. Their kicker, he's an older kid. They're extremely solid. So we've got to match their intensity on special teams, and we got to take that 1 or 2 plays that we've had. The block kick against against Indiana, the roughing the punter, those 1 or 2 plays on special teams a week that are really hurting us from controlling that game. I thought our punter did a phenomenal job Saturday. Clayton Rosensteel, who's also our holder, you talk about snapping in that weather on Saturday, becomes a little more, and our long snapper was out. He'll be back this week, but our long snapper was out. So I thought Clayton did a really good job of handling some snaps both in the kicking game and the punting game, which was a big advantage for us.
What's the message too? How do you prepare the team? Slippery Rock's place always packs it. I believe it's their homecoming game this week, so add another 1,500, 2,000 people. It's a great atmosphere to watch a game, but as a visitor, how do you prepare your team just for an experience? It's not a stadium that's very comparable to a lot of stadiums in the PSAC. It's a lot bigger and a lot more noise.
Yeah, it's about us. We're going to go up there and take care of our business. We can't worry about all the outside noise. We can't worry about everybody patting us on the back because we've won a couple games. We got to be about our preparation. We got to be about details. We got to have a great week of practice, and then just let's go up and play. It's going to be 60 minutes, and it's going to be a good ball game, and let's go up and find out where we're at.
And that game is Saturday at 1 o'clock at Slippery Rock. Like I said, I just mentioned it's their homecoming game. Going to be a big atmosphere, big game in the PSAC West and regionally and everything. Beyond that, we only concentrate on one thing, can't concentrate on 1,000 things. But here's some other games in the conference this weekend, big weekends, we said, coming up towards the end of the regular season here in a few weeks. Mentioned California at Slippery Rock, 1 o'clock. Other games in the West, Clarion at Edinboro, and then Gannon at Mercyhurst and IUP at Seton Hill. And then over in the PSAC East, Westchester at Shepherd, Kutztown at Lock Haven. And then, if I can read my handwriting, Bloomsburg at East Stroudsburg. So, obviously, like I said, a marquee matchup in the region, in the conference. And what is your pitch to the fans?
Let's go. Get up I-79, short drive. You can stop at the outlet malls. I'm sure my wife and daughter will stop there. We never pass that place, the Grove City Outlets. When maybe they should send us a. Since I'm plugging them right now.
We can put the sign right here.
But no, it'll be a good day. I know a lot of our alumni are talking about being there. I know the band's going. I know the cheerleaders are going. And it's a great day. We talk about the rivalries all the time. This is as big as it gets. Two good football teams going at it, and let's go find out where we're at.
And the cool thing is the buzz around the team, around the program. Obviously Saturday was homecoming. I got to walk around the parking lot, seeing some old friends and stuff. But a lot of people are talking. I know you have a ton of alumni friends and stuff. They're talking. So it's just nice to have just that buzz just continuing to build and build and build week and week and week.
Yeah, it is. And our guys have put themselves in a position to be playing in big games. You've got to take care of business each week to have the opportunity to play in big games. And our guys have done that. I know they'll work their tails off this week in preparing. And it's going to be a fun week.
Well, Coach, have a good week of practice. Make sure to go up to Slippery Rock this Saturday, 1 o'clock kickoff. Go up there early, see the team come in, tailgate a little bit, and cheer on the Vulcans and wear your red and black. So for Coach Dunn, I'm Gary Smith. We'll see you next week on The Gary Dunn Show.